All of my year-end lists has finally brought us here. Let's get into this. Welcome everyone to my final year-end list of 2018, and that is the best movies of 2018. Woo! It has been a process, but I finally have made it here. We had to get through the pieces of crap, which is the worst movies of. Then a new list that me and Techno406 came up with, which is the hottest female characters of 2018. From now on, I'll be doing that list every year. It's gonna be an annual thing now. Then we've got to get through both my most surprising films and the movies that let me down. Weren't really bad, but let me down. Then the films I consider to be overlooked and underrated. Then my guilty pleasures that I don't really mind. And my best and worst rankings for horror and in superheroes. So it has been pretty jam-packed with your end list, but I'm going to wrap it up with the best the 45 best movies I consider to be the best. Some of these has gotten mixed reviews that I ended up liking more. Some of them has been pretty positive reviews, and some of them you may not have heard of or think, or they may be. One of them, two of them are directorial debuts for Guardians of the Galaxy members, and most of them are Netflix films or directorial debuts. We got 45 movies for the best and 41 honorable mentions. Let's not waste any more time and let's get to it! Woo! My honorable mentions as followed. Now, I'm not going to go over all of these honorable mentions, but I'll go over a few of them. But we have 41 honorable mentions, like I said. Here we go. Blockers, Annihilation. This is definitely a great thinking person's film. It's a shame that this movie didn't do so well because people don't want to watch a movie that makes them think. Stop being so freaking closed-minded, people. First Man, the movie about Neil Armstrong. This should have... The stupid American flag controversy is what kept people from watching First Man. That's really sad because this is a good movie about Neil Armstrong. Bohemian Rhapsody. Good movie, but you didn't do the whole thing with Freddie Jackson 100%. I mean, Freddie Mercury right. Waco. Sharknado 6. The Last Sharknado. It's About Time. Bad Times at the El Royale. Leprechaun Returns. Sharp Objects. Mandy. Sundogs. Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation. Very surprised at this one, because I never... Incredibles 2. Thoroughbreds. This is the last movie for Anton Yelchin. Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Marvel Rising Secret Warriors. Very entertaining film. I know John Avengers 7195 is not a fan of it. I really liked Marvel Rising Secret Warriors. It was great seeing Captain Marvel before her live action film, and Dove Cameron does a good job. Once again, is Gwen Stacy, aka Ghost Spider. So yeah, I like Dove and Haley Steinfeld both as that character in different films. I Am Paul Walker. Great documentary, but don't watch it if you're a Paul Walker fan unless you want to cry. Disney's Christopher Robin. The Death of Superman. Robin Williams, Come Inside My Mind. Great documentary on the life and times of Robin Williams. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. You will be missed. Black Klansman. Game Night. Isle of Dogs. Goosebumps 2. Haunted Halloween. It's not better than the first Goosebumps by any means, but I think it's pretty entertaining. Disney's Zombies. Sorry for your loss. Elizabeth Olsen, I love you for this. Pacific Rim 2 Uprising. Not better than the first Pacific Rim, but I do like some stuff in here, especially Jean Theon, the character. She was pretty cool. Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. I actually think this is better than the Will Smith Margot Robbie live action film. I do like that live action movie, but this one is a little better because I get to care about the team more. The Strangers 2 Pray at Night. Tomb Raider 2018. Deadpool 2. I really wanted to put this on my best of, but I just couldn't find a spot for it. And no, I did not see Once Upon a Deadpool because that's PG-13 Deadpool, and Deadpool is better when he's cursing. Crazy Rich Asians. Very surprising at this movie. I can't wait for Crazy Rich Asians Part 2. Instant Family. Widows. This is from the one who did 12 Years a Slave, and that movie was hard to get through on the first time, but the second time, 12 Years a Slave was good. And I liked that movie too. Widows, very overlooked. I Kill Giants. Alpha. When We First Met. Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado. Not better than the first Sicario, but I really like Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Isabella Moner and Josh Brolin are the standouts here. And 2018 was the year of Thanos. Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. Very underrated film. And the last honorable mention is the CW crossover Elseworlds. Very nice to see the introduction of Batgirl. However, John Wesley Shipp from The Flash in the 1990s show is underused, and the whole thing with Superman's black suit, here I hated it, but I'm starting to get used to Superman's black suit a little more now. All those honorable mentions I just named, 41 honorable mentions, really liked all those. I just couldn't fit them anywhere on this list, but those are all my honorable mentions in total. Now let's get to the actual list. So at number 45 we have Kodachrome. Kodachrome, what more can I say about this film? This was a great Netflix film. I really liked the story of this guy loses, and he's trying to spend time with his father before he dies. He's trying to find the last set of Kodachrome photos. Jason Sudeikis was really great in here. I really liked the chemistry with him and Ed Harris. Elizabeth Olsen cannot stop being awesome to see and also stop being good to look at. I really like her in this movie. I really like the story and the direction here. I really like what they were going for here. It does get a little bit too sentimental at parts, but Kodachrome is a really great film. And that's why it's number 45. Number 44, Don't Kill Me, Don't Hate Me, Just Listen. Hereditary. Like I said, this movie is great, but it is not that good as everybody's saying it is. They say it's a masterpiece, they say it's better than The Exorcist, but The Exorcist is a better movie than this. Like I said, in my ranking, the problem that I got with this movie is that the way you marketed this movie, the insanely over amount of praise that this movie has gotten, and it takes way too long for this Hereditary to get scary, which is the biggest crime this movie commits. This movie should have not been 2 hours and 7 minutes long, because in that length I got bored at the beginning of this movie. I get it, a family member dies, but When I want to watch a scary movie, I expect Hereditary to be scary. You better be happy this isn't on the worst of list. However, I do like the acting from Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, Alex. I do like the interesting things here. I like the writing and direction. I like the atmospheric and tension moments. I do not like the ending of this movie though. That confuses me to the point where I can't even figure out that ending for myself. But Hereditary, like, when it comes to this movie, the best way I can sum it up is I have a love-hate relationship with this movie. Kind of more like my mom does with Hereditary. I like some stuff in it, but I hate the slow pace, and I hate the fact that it takes so long to get good. And I hate the fact that this movie's just getting overpraised like it's the new Messiah of 2018 or last year. And it's not. It's just a movie, y'all. I didn't give the film a bad review because I didn't hate the movie. We getting this clear. I don't hate Hereditary. I like the movie, I just don't love it as much as everyone else does. Coming to number 3, another Netflix film, Set It Up. This stars Zoe Dutch, who I like. Lucy Liu, I really like. Tay Diggs and Glenn Powell. This was one of the better movies for Netflix. This was the better romantic comedy film. Now, I didn't mind when we first met, and I didn't mind the kissing booth, but like I said, the kissing booth is a little sexist and is a little regressive. But here, this movie is not sexist or regressive. It's telling a good story. I do like the story they're telling. I like the writing and direction. I really like the chemistry between Zoe Dutch and Glenn Powell, and both Zoe Dutch's. She's came a long way since Vampire Academy, which I hate the Vampire Academy film. I liked her, I loved her in Why Him, and I do plan on seeing what other movies that she's in. It's a shame I kind of missed out on Before I Fall with her. But she's really attractive, and so is Lucy Liu. Even though she's in her 50s, she's still gorgeous. And Tay Diggs is still pretty awesome to see. Set It Up is a very entertaining film. Oh, and one more thing. Did I forget to mention that Zoe Dutch is insanely hot? I know she's the daughter of Leah Thompson, but she is just insanely gorgeous. Maze Runner: The Death Cure, not only I thought was a good end to the trilogy, it flawed, but it was also another film I really enjoyed. Again, as I just said, it is a good end to the trilogy, it flawed. Now, originally this was supposed to come out in 2017, but because of Dylan O'Brien's incident during production of the film, which I'm glad he recovered from, they had to delay it to 2018. And not only it was a good end to the trilogy, I like all 3 of the Maze Runner films. The action, I really do enjoy the action sequences here. The direction is once again great. The acting from everyone is fantastic, especially on Dylan O'Brien's part. I have seen American Assassin, and for anyone who watches Bumblebee, Dylan O'Brien from Maze Runner, he does the voice of Bumblebee at the beginning of the movie. So just letting you know, if you're watching Bumblebee, that's who's doing the voice of Bumblebee at the beginning of the film before he loses his ability to talk. But the Maze Runner: The Death Cure, I thought it does have its issues, but I kind of think this is where the Maze Runner films should have been doing all along. Have action packed, but it's okay. At least this movie is not a 2-parter. But I do enjoy Maze Runner: The Death Cure. I definitely will check it out again, because I have watched it twice. I am planning to get the trilogy soon. So yeah, that's number 42, Maze Runner: The Death Cure. BET, you did it again. At number 41 with the Bobby Brown story. Woo! This was a great follow-up to the New Edition story from 2017, but I thought this was just as good as the New Edition story. This is now one of my favorite music biopics, and this is coming from BET, and I gotta say, let me just give praise to Woody McClain, because he damn near channels the heck out of Bobby Brown in this movie. He got the mannerisms right, the way he dances right, the way he gets everything right, and I'm glad that the actual real life Bobby Brown was one of the producers on here. And like I said in my review, if they would have messed this up for fans of New Edition and Bobby Brown, including my mom, who is one of the biggest New Edition fans, everybody would have hated this. But BET, you didn't mess it up. I love they went into every single aspect of this guy's life, from his upbringing to his drug addiction to the death of Bobby Christine, which that was one of my favorite scenes in any film, and Woody McClain just let loose in that part. But I've talked a lot more about the Bobby Brown story. If you want to see my thoughts on the Bobby Brown movie, you can check out my review of it. Number 40 is On the Basis of Sex. This tells the true story of Supreme Court woman Ruth Ginsburg. I think that's Ruth Ginsburg. And then the story of her and her husband, and she's fighting for equality in the Supreme Courts. It does have a couple of historical inaccuracies, just like Bohemian Rhapsody, where in this movie's case, I get the historical inaccuracies, that the changes that they have to make. Whereas Bohemian Rhapsody, the way you explain his sexuality, Freddie Mercury's sexuality, and his treatment about AIDS, you didn't do that 100% correctly. Neither is some of the historical changes you may hear, but it is a well-acted film from Felicity Jones and Armie Hammer and Kathy Bates, Sam Waterston, and the direction's pretty good. I really love the entertaining performances. I like the story. I cared about what was going on. Like I said, it does have a couple of historical inaccuracies, but I really love On the Basis of Sex. Yes, another Netflix movie I really liked. Number 39 is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. This movie surprised me. I expected To All the Boys I Loved Before to be just a boring, generic teen drama, but I got the exact opposites. I really like the cast here from Anna Cathcart from Descendants 2. It's good seeing her getting more work. Lana Condor, I really like the story of this girl writing all these notes to all the boys that she's been in love with. I really liked the acting. I didn't really like the one character, and it does go into the rom-com cliches but To All the Boys I Loved Before, I actually had an entertaining enough time with. And yes, I am aware of Netflix, they're making a sequel. I'm kind of curious about To All the Boys I Loved Before, Part 2. But To All the Boys I Loved Before, this first one, I was very shocked with. And that's why it's number 39. It's very surprising. I really like the story. I like the direction. I love the acting for the most part. This is just a really good film. Number 38 is Mary Poppins Returns. I didn't think a sequel to Mary Poppins would work, but it works very well here. Now, the original Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews is still the better movie. And Julie Andrews is still the better Mary Poppins. But Emily Blunt, I like how she plays Mary Poppins. I like the story here. And this is the longest sequel gap, because this came out 54 years after the original last year. I really love the music. I really like the story. I like the emotional moments. Ben Whishaw as the brother Michael, he carries a lot of emotion into his performance. Emily Mortimer, she's really great as the sister. I like the kids. I like the guy who fills in for Dick Van Dyke, who does have a cameo in this movie. I only wish Julie Andrews did have a cameo, but she passed on. But luckily, she does the voice of one of the sea creatures in Aquaman, which will be at the very top of the list. It does have problems. It does rely on nostalgia a little bit too much, which is kind of my only gripe. But Mary Poppins Returns is very good. Man, this was a fun zombie movie. Overlord, number 37. I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it. This is the most underrated horror film of last year. This movie didn't get to really do well at the box office because it was released in November. If this was pushed back to October and Venom was removed from October, because I really hate Venom with every aspect, everything I got in my body. Where this movie, Overlord, if this came out on October 5th, which was Venom's release date, I think it would have made a lot more money. I really like the fun throwback to the old zombie films where you have fun from the 80s. I like the idea of a World War II kind of aspect. The acting is really great. Jovan Apito, Bokeem Woodbine, who is the only familiar face here. Most of the cast is new. Jovan Apito, the son of Kurt Russell in here, Wyatt Russell. Mathilde Olivier, she's gorgeous in this movie. I want to see more of Mathilde Olivier, and she's really great. The zombie effects are really good. I didn't like the one character, but there could have been a little bit more zombie action and carnage, but for the action and zombie stuff that we did get, I really liked. And it's a shame that this movie didn't do well, because I would have liked to see a sequel to it. Because original films deserve more. I like all the franchise movies, but original films deserves more. Coming in number 36 is The Flash, DC Lego superheroes, The Flash. Very cute little animated film with The Flash. I still want to see The Flash get his own movie. Whatever it takes, DC and Warner Bros. Y'all do it, whatever it takes. If you have to delay Fantastic Beasts 3 just so Ezra Miller can do this film, do a live action Flash movie, I'm okay with it. Make me wait for Fantastic Beasts 3. Fix the problems that Fantastic Beasts 2 has. Now, this film I really do like. It's very fun animation, great voice acting from everyone, including Kate Maisuke. The voice actors are really good. It could have been a little short, could have been a little bit longer, but I really liked the story, the funny moments. It's great seeing the Flash in Legos. just a lot of entertaining aspects. And speaking of Legos, the Lego Movie 2 comes out next month. Tiffany Haddish is also in that movie, so we'll see how Tiffany Haddish does in that movie. But DC's Lego The Flash was very fun, very entertaining, and very lighthearted, and so full of color. And that's what I really like in this one. Number 35 is I Think We're Alone Now. This is the second directorial effort from Rita Moreno following Meadowland, which had Olivia Wilde in it. This has Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning, and I really enjoy her second directorial effort. And in fact, the minute I said I liked this movie, I did make a post about this movie in my Instagram story last year. And the director of the movie, of course, Rita Moreno, she actually liked my Instagram story, what I said about the film. That felt very sweet, and felt very cool. It's always fun for me when I do get a little noticed by a celebrity. Descendants to Twitter stuff I was talking about on Twitter in 2017, and Dove Cameron. Noticed that she even replied to one of my comments too. That was kind of cool. Woo! But I Think We're Alone Now was a pretty good film. I really liked Rita Moreno's direction. I like her writing. I love the cinematography she does. Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning was really great. This movie does underuse Paul Giamatti a bit, but I really thought I Think We're Alone Now was a really good film. If you haven't seen the film, I do strongly recommend it. The locations are really great. I like the interesting stuff they were doing here. I really liked everything that they were trying to do in this film, and I really enjoyed watching this movie. I can't wait to watch it again soon. Rita Moreno, I want to see what you do next. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is 34. Yes, you don't care about the characters as much as you should. There is a certain part in this movie that I don't like when it comes to one of the dinosaurs, and Jeff Goldblum is basically a cameo, because I really wanted to see what he was gonna bring to the table in this. But I think this is a better film than the first Jurassic World. Now, I do like the first Jurassic World, but this movie does have carried the same issue where you don't get to care about the characters as much. I do like the interesting stuff they hear. Juan Antonio Bayonna's direction. He knows what he's doing. Great director. I like the performances of Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. I like some of the new characters and some of the action and the dinosaur effects. I'm one of those people who really like Fallen Kingdom. It's definitely underrated. I think a lot of people just starting to hate on the Jurassic Park series because it's not as good as the first Jurassic Park. You can't expect everything to be better than the original. Pitch Perfect 2 wasn't better than the original, and nor was Pitch Perfect 3. But I like those movies. And I like Jurassic World 1 and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I can't wait to see Jurassic World 3 coming soon. Coming in 33rd place is The Girl in the Spider's Web, which is the sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, directed by David Fincher, the American version, not the Swedish version. A lot of people really hate this film, but I think Girl in the Spider's Web is not better, but I think is a decent enough sequel, and is good that I decided to put it on this list. Claire Foy, she's not nearly as great as Rooney Mara or or Noomi Rapace, but I think she does good for what she has to do. She's really great as Elizabeth Salander. Really like seeing her in this movie and in First Man and in Unsane. It's great seeing her get work, as I like her. The actor who plays Mikhail Blomkvist could have been better. Sylvia Hoeks is in this movie from Blade Runner 2049. She plays the sister of Elizabeth Salander. I really like the action set pieces. I really was interested with the story. I really like some of the decisions they decided to go, especially when it came to the character of Camilla Salander, played by Sylvia Hoeks. The twist I didn't see coming. Like I said, it does have problems when it comes to it being a little slow, and some of the writing is not pretty good. And you don't really, Mikhail kind of gets shafted a little bit. But the girl, the girl on the Spider's Web is not a bad sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I enjoyed it. Yes, it didn't do well. It didn't get mixed. It got mixed reviews. And like I said, if it was David Fincher and Rooney Mara and Daniel Craig for this, I think it would have been a better film. But for what I got, I enjoyed The Girl on the Spider's Web. Number 32 is Ocean's 8. I am so happy Ocean's 8 was not another Ghostbusters, because that was the only thing I was worried about with Ocean's 8. I was afraid this was going to be Ghostbusters 2016 all over again. And if you know me, I hate Ghostbusters 2016. Thank goodness we're getting the real Ghostbusters 3 next year with the original cast, as it should be. It's too bad Leslie Jones, she's upset because it's not. So your movie was bad anyway. So what? But Ocean's 8 was actually pretty entertaining. I really liked Ocean's 8. I loved the cast of Sandra Bullock, Anne Hathaway, Cate Blanchett, Mindy Kaling, Rihanna, Awkwafina, Helena Bonham Carter. Sandra Bullock, she is playing the sister of George Clooney's character, who they do explain what happened to him. They basically died in between the Ocean's trilogy and this movie. I really like it. Is basically by the books. I do like the cameos from most celebrities. Adriana Lima, beautiful Brazilian supermodel, by the way. Gigi Hadid, Olivia Munn, which I'm about to get to a movie with her. I really liked Ocean's 8. It does go by the books, and it does, but I enjoy Ocean's 8 for what it was. It was very surprising, and I had a good time with Ocean's 8. If you haven't seen it, I would say don't listen to critics. Just be optimistic and give it the fair chance you think it deserves. Coming in number 31 is Shane Black's The Predator. Now I know what you're about to say. Joshua, why is this movie on the best of? This movie ruined the Predator franchise. No. I can understand the complaints of people saying this is the worst Predator film. I used to think Predator 2 was the worst. But now I really like Predator 2, but it's still my least favorite Predator film. It's cool seeing the Predator come back, killing people, using his little thermal heat vision. I didn't like the Mega Predator. He's pretty cool, but the only problem I have with the big version of Predator is the CGI. You could have got somebody in a suit or in full body suit, makeup, prosthetics to do that. You didn't really need CGI there. Like I said, we could have cared more about the characters. The film could have been a little bit longer. You could have put some of the stuff back in, except for the whole thing that Olivia Munn talked about. I really like the team. Despite some of the humor getting a little overbearing, I really like the team. Keegan-Michael Key, Sterling K. Brown, Trevante Rhodes, Jacob Tremblay, he was really good as the autistic kid. Olivia Munn was really great as the biology teacher. She was really great. I like Olivia Munn as an actress, and as a woman, she's a gorgeous woman, a mix with different race, and I like her in this movie. Yes, like I said, I can't wait to see her again in X-Men Dark Phoenix coming this summer. But like I said, I am pretty scared about X-Men Dark Phoenix, though. I really am. But number 32, Ocean's 8. No. Number 31, I'm sorry. The Predator was really fun. Despite my glaring problems, I had more fun with The Predator than a lot of critics. Coming in number 30 is Upgrade. I'm gonna keep it short because I've talked about this in my most underrated and in my most surprising. But this was a really fun action film. Logan Marshall Green was great. Lee Guano was great. Interesting story, interesting characters, interesting action, entertaining moments. Really like the influences that they went here for. This is a great horror action film. Great. Definitely should have made a little more, but this is a pretty badass film. If you ain't seen Upgrade, you should. Coming in 29th place, I've talked a lot about this one too, is Unsane. Directed by Steven Soderbergh, starring Claire Foy. This movie was shot completely on an iPhone. And that was the interesting part of it for me. That they shot this movie completely on an iPhone. And you can definitely tell it because it is shot on an iPhone. And I really like the story here. I'm not going to talk too much more about it because I have said a lot what I had to say in my review of it. But Unsane was really good. I like the performances, I like the tension, I like what they were trying to do here. And I also thought this was a very entertaining horror film. This is one of the better films that was actually scary last year. And it's more of a thriller. Kudos to Steven Soderbergh and Claire Foy. Because her acting is really good and Steven Soderbergh's direction is still pretty top notch. Coming in number 28. This is a movie that I said was okay when I first watched it, but then looking back at it and watched it again, I actually like a lot more. And that is the remake of Death Wish. I know a lot of people don't like Eli Roth as a director, and they don't like the remake of Death Wish. I have not seen the one with Charles Bronson. This one stars Bruce Willis, and it's good seeing Bruce Willis in a good movie because Bruce Willis lately has been having a very, I shouldn't say not very good time with the movie choices, but this was one of his better films. We could have cared about his wife and his daughter before they got attacked by the people that invaded their house. But Death Wish was a fun time. I liked this remake of Death Wish. You also got Kimberly Elise from Diary of a Mad Black Woman in here, Vincent D'Onofrio. The action scenes were brutal. Bruce Willis, he is a surgeon, so he does use doctor tools too. And the action, people say this was released at a bad time after the high school shooting that happened. But I didn't think Death Wish was that bad of a film. It's definitely not perfect. The original Death Wish is better, but I think it's an entertaining film. Number 27, John Carpenter. I respect you for this. This is why a lot of John Carpenter fans love you. Halloween 2018, or Halloween H40, 40 years later, the night he returned home, as I usually call it. Michael Myers is back. Jamie Lee Curtis, this is the best I've seen of her as Laurie Strode since the first Halloween. Michael Myers, he's back to how he is. He's not sympathetic. He's not crying like in Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. When he comes on screen, he don't care. He's gonna kill you regardless. And I really like the story. I really like that it's a direct sequel to the original. I did have some problems when it came to not seeing Jamie Lloyd, and there were two scenes in this movie that didn't need to be there, and the underusage of Judy Greer's character. But I really thought this was one of the better movies in the Halloween franchise. It is definitely better than Halloween 5. It is better than Halloween Resurrection, even though that's a guilty pleasure. And it is a little better than Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But Michael Myers is ripping all through your whole crew. And then him and Laurie Strode, the fight between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, that was a better third act than Hereditary's third act. So the mic has been dropped. Coming at number 26, this is the directorial debut of this is not the only directorial debut of a Guardians of the Galaxy actor you're going to be seeing on this list, but this is Karen Gillan's directorial debut of The Party's Just Beginning. This is her feature-length debut, not her first film. She has directed a short film before this, and this is an independent film that, like I said, it got overlooked. Nobody really cared to see it. Karen Gillan, she's great in this movie. I really love her character. I like the story of Lucide, who is a younger woman from Inverness, having to deal with the loss of her best friend who took his life. I really like the acting from everyone. Karen Gillan, she writes, the way she writes and directs this film, and the cinematography in this film. I want to see what Karen Gillan does next as a director and a writer, and if you can't find anybody to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3, let her do it, or just let the one who directed Bumblebee do it. Because right now, I'm starting to get a little anxious and a little scared, frightened for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I got faith in Guardians 3, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does next as an actress, because I do like Karen Gillan as an actress. She may be a redheaded actress from Scotland, but you know, considering the fact that I like to show my equality side towards all different races of actors and actresses and filmmakers, it's no surprise. But I enjoyed The Party's Just Beginning. If you haven't seen it, I definitely give it a shot. Especially if you're a fan of Karen Gillan. Even if you're not a fan of Karen Gillan, I would say give it a shot. This is going to come in as a little controversial at number 25, but I really fought like hell to put this movie harder at the top of my list. But Avengers Infinity War Part 1. The only thing that holds this movie back from being higher is I don't like that ending. I've said it more than once. You're basically pulling a Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 cliffhanger on me, which Deathly Hallows has a better cliffhanger than you. And you had the nerve to disintegrate Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, and I kid you not, Spider-Man. Granted, we're going to see them again. This ain't the last time we're going to see them. They're coming back. Nobody really stays there in the MCU. But I had a lot of fun with Avengers Infinity War Part 1. 10 years of Marvel building this up. They planned this from the beginning. From that first Iron Man movie all the way up to now. Because this year we're going to get Captain Marvel with Brie Larson, which I am excited for. I don't care how many people is hating Brie Larson. And you're comparing Captain Marvel to Wonder Woman, and you don't have to do that. That's really getting on my nerves there. We're getting Spider-Man Far From Home, and then Avengers Infinity War Part 2, or Avengers 4 in April. Robert Downey Jr., he was great. He kills it as always. Josh Brolin, he was one of the best MCU villains. I cared about Thanos. I cared about his plan. Yes, they killed Loki, but we don't need to see Loki again. That's just how I feel. Seeing all of these heroes come together for the first time in one movie, that was awesome. Black Panther, the Guardians, Spidey, the main Avengers, they planned this. It was an event, and I had a smile on my face the whole time watching this, except for that ending. But they're gonna fix it in April. So I'm curious to see what Avengers 4 is gonna do, and I can't wait to see the dead heroes be resurrected. Number 24, we have Creed 2. This is not, now the first Creed is the better movie than this, but Creed 2 I do like. But the next time Rocky tells you not to go up against somebody who is much more stronger than you, don't do it. But Michael B. Jordan, he once again is great in here. He also produced this movie as well. This is also the last movie for Sylvester Stallone's Rocky character, because he has said he's going to retire the character of Rocky and let Creed continue. But the son of Ivan Drago, he was really good. It's great seeing Dolph Lundgren again. For some reason, in this movie and in Aquaman, they made him look really old. It may be because of the movies, just the makeup. Creed 2. I really like the story here. It's kind of like a mix of Rocky 2 and Rocky 4. And it was good seeing Creed get payback by beating up Drago's son for what and honoring his dad. Like, it does have problems. It's not as well directed as the first one. And it does, and this one you do feel the length just a little bit, but Creed 2, I think is a great successor to Creed. Number 23 is another Netflix film. I told you, you're going to be seeing a lot of Netflix films on this list, except for The Kissing Booth, which I saved in my most underrated. But Dumpling, this stars Jennifer Aniston, Danielle McDonald, Luke Benward, Dove Cameron, with music from Dolly Parton. And I really liked this movie a lot. I loved the film. I liked the story of one's former beauty pageant and her daughter. I really like what they were going here. I like the directions they decided to go. I really like the entertaining aspects that they decided to go, and I thought that was really fun to watch as well. And it's just very cool, very awesome. The acting was really great from everyone, especially from Jennifer Aniston, Dove Cameron, everyone, Danielle McDonald, of course. And the music by Dolly Parton is solid. I love the soundtrack by Dolly Parton. Like, this is one of the better Netflix films, and I'm very glad I get this. I'm so happy to put this on my best of list. When it comes to Ralph Breaks the Internet or Wreck-It Ralph 2, I was excited, but I was also very worried because the main thing, two things. One, I was afraid this was going to be 2018's version of the Emoji Movie from 2017, and plus all of Disney's product placement. The Disney Princess, Star Wars, all of this, and I felt like it was going to be a bunch of overkill. However, Ralph Breaks the Internet, I got the complete opposite, and I actually think it's a better movie than the first Wreck-It Ralph. I really like the story more. Yes, the characters played by Fix-It Felix and the surgeon, they do get a little underused here. But I like the story of Ralph and Vanellope going to find a replacement for their console, the little controller for Sugar Rush. I like all the worlds that they go to, from the social media websites to all the other video games. Gal Gadot, she was great in her as Shank. I liked her character. I would love to see her character, Gal Gadot's character, in this movie get her own film. And Gal Gadot is a great actress, and so is Sarah Silverman. They both do a great job in this film. Seeing the Disney princesses in one movie, that was surprising. You got, like I said, you got Moana, Snow White, Anna and Elsa, all of them. That made for some fun times. And the last couple of minutes of this movie is very heartfelt and very heartwarming. I love Ralph Breaks the Internet more than the very first Wreck-It Ralph, and I would love to see a third film. When it comes to life itself, I saw some of the bad reviews of this film, and I just laughed because they made this movie out to be 2018's version of The Room, and I checked it out for myself, and it's not really that bad. I really liked life itself. Yes, I do have problems with it, but I thought it was a very great film, and I really like the acting from everyone except for Olivia Cooke, Oscar Isaac, Olivia Wilde, of course, which you can't resist seeing Olivia Wilde in a movie. And I like the story. I like how all these intertwined stories are connected. I like the emotional moments. It did get a little bit too emotional on some parts, but life itself was not that bad of a film. I actually find it to be quite underrated, and I got more enjoyment out of it than most people. Coming to number 20 is Disney's Nutcracker in the Four Realms. I'm sorry, critics, if you can't handle a movie about a new film version of the Nutcracker without any dancing. I like the Nutcracker in the Four Realms a lot more than I expected to. Mackenzie Foy, she doesn't bother me in this movie. I don't have a problem with Mackenzie Foy as an actress at all. I actually think she's much better than Kristen Stewart, and that's my honest opinion. Because now I hate Kristen Stewart now. That's the honest truth. But the problem that does set this movie back is the villain, played by Keira Knightley, the Sugar Plum Fairy. She is so over the top, so overbearing, and you do the same exact thing you did in Pirates of the Caribbean 3, which you scream and get on my nerves very quickly, and it got old very fast. I was just wanting this character to die, but it's a family film. I love the visual style. There's no musical numbers, but it's a different version of it. I love the acting. I like the entertainment value here, and this was a really great film. Nutcracker in the Four Realms. I really liked it. The Hate U Give, not only I felt like this was one of the most surprising films of last year, but The Hate U Give really painted the honest to God picture when it comes to this movie, because it's showing you what's going on in our society. Police brutality, kids getting shot for no reason, and a lot of people said this easily could have been preachy and overbearing, but it didn't. I cared about the characters here. I cared about the emotional moments. Now, some of the subject matter in this movie, because this is PG-13, is going to be a little bit too much for people to handle, especially with the police brutality scenes and the riots. But The Hate You Give, I really loved the film. Amanda Steinberg was really great. Regina Hall was great. Common as the Uncle Carlos, he was really great. You also have Sabrina Carpenter from Girl Meets World and Adventures in Babysitting here as the friend Haley. I liked her in this movie up until the part of something that she says, which I won't spoil. But if you haven't seen The Hate You Give, I would recommend it, even if the subject matter is too much for you to handle. I enjoyed this film a lot. It really painted the picture. It really sends a message about the police brutality, and I really love this film. George Tillman Jr., great director of Soul Food, Notorious B.I.G. He directed this movie to the best of his abilities. And the script from Audrey Wells, who may she rest in peace, because she died after the release of this film. The script is well written, and it sticks very closely to the novel, which I haven't read. But this was a great film. Dude was easily a better movie for Lucy Hale, the former Pretty Little Liars actress and country singer, even though I didn't mind Truth or Dare. Now, Lucy Hale in this movie, she does a really great job here. She is a great actress, and she's been in other things to prove that she is. I loved her as Periwinkle in Tinkerbell, Secret of the Wings. I think she's amazing as Aria Montgomery in Pretty Little Liars, which I'm very surprised at how great the show is. I'm very surprised to how much enjoyment factor I am getting out of that show. And I really like her in the Cinderella Story 3, Once Upon a Song. Then her episode she was in was The Waverly Place, and then her little cameo at the beginning of Scream 4, and yeah, Lucy Hale, she's just very talented. And her TV show, Life Sentence, I really enjoyed for the short-lived time it was on CW, unfortunately. And Lucy Hale, she's a beautiful young woman. She's attractive, and she's really great in this movie, as well as Catherine Prescott and Awkwafina Alexandra Shipp, who you may remember from X-Men Apocalypse and Aaliyah, the Princess of R&B. In X-Men Apocalypse, she plays Storm in that film. But all four of the ladies, they have amazing chemistry with each other. You also got Alex Wolff from Hereditary in here, Austin Butler, good cast of people. And this is the first time directorial debut for Olivia Milch, who was one of the writers of Ocean's 8, and she also wrote this film. But Lucy Hale is the standout of this entire movie. She's beautiful, she's talented, she's attractive, and she is insanely gorgeous. I love her face. I love her green, beautiful, friendly eyes. I love her personality, and I really like her smile. Anytime you see her in a movie, you know that she is capable of bringing her A game, even if the movie is not very good. Now, Truth or Dare, I didn't mind that film, but it definitely had a lot of problems, but she was not the problem in the movie. The acting was pretty good in that film, but this is a better movie for her. I'm curious to see what she's going to do next, because she does have a movie coming out called The Unicorn next month. And she's working on Fantasy Island, which is a reboot to the classic show. But Lucy Hale is just insanely beautiful, and she's gorgeous. So, in the case of me talking about this movie, not only I like the story, I really like the characters, I really like what they were doing, but Netflix did your job. if this was released in the theaters, I felt like this people, a lot more people would have heard of it or seen it. But dude, it's a really great film, and I leave you guys with this in case you don't get how I feel. Coming in number 17 is Love, Simon. Now, I know there are quite a few people who didn't want to watch this movie because it centers on a gay LGBT and the gay couple. You can't, please tell me that most people, you are not that close-minded when it comes to a movie with a gay couple. Are you that close-minded? But I was curious about Love, Simon. I actually loved the film. I like the story of the message that this movie is trying to send is that some people who are afraid to come out are scared. You shouldn't have to hide who you are. You can just embrace. If you are bisexual, embrace it. It's not an empowerment movie, I promise. But I really liked the story. Nick Robinson was really good. I really like Kenyon Lonsdale. Jorg Lindenborg Jr., the same guy with the afro who was in this movie, is the same one who was in Bumblebee, which you're gonna see later on. Catherine Langford for 13 Reasons Why was great. The only part I didn't like the dad at first, because he's against his own son coming out. But when it gets to the end, I thought that was very, very heartfelt. But number 17, Love, Simon. Ready Player One, like I said, looking back at it, it does have problems when it comes to character development, and a certain character in this movie played by Hannah John Kamen, who I don't really like. And it does kind of overstay his welcome a little bit with the runtime, but I still enjoy Ready Player One. It was a very fun, nostalgia film. Steven Spielberg, he's a director who he still got it. This is the same director, E.T., Minority Report, Munich, The Color Purple. This director, Steven Spielberg, shows why he still got it. I love all the pop culture references in here, from Chucky to the Iron Giant to Freddy Krueger. There's a lot of pop culture references in this movie. You just have to, I can't name all of them because there's so many, but I really like the acting, I really like the visual style, I like the entertaining premise, and because this movie's made its budget back, we might be getting Ready Player 2. So if you're gonna do Ready Player 2, you could one of the issues, you could make us care about the characters a little more. But I enjoy I love the Ready Player One. It's very, very fun. And it's a very nice movie with pop culture references for the fans. No matter if you're from born from the 70s, born in the 80s, born in the 90s, or 2000s. This is a movie for you guys. At number 15 is Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp. This came out immediately after Avengers Infinity War Part 1. I will say this is a worthy follow-up to the first Ant-Man. The only problem I have with this movie is I don't like the villain of Ghost. I thought Hannah John Kamen, it's not her fault, it's just I don't like the way she plays the character. She's given nothing to work with here, and you take off the mask way too much. I'm sick of most of these villains in these movies taking off your mask too much. Leave the mask on. We don't have to see your face. You know why Voldemort worked in Harry Potter and Ghost didn't? Because Voldemort, He never took off the mask. He didn't even wear a mask. He just walked around with a deadly snake. Or Ghost, I can see why a lot of people hate Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I really do like it. Paul Rudd was really great. I loved Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp here. She's really awesome. She doesn't take the movie from Paul Rudd. It's basically the best of both worlds. There's a lot of humor, there's a lot of fun. I don't like the ending to this movie either, because it ties into Avengers 3 with Wasp being disintegrated, but we're gonna see her again too. Number 14 is 8th Grade. 8th Grade, this is a coming of age film from A24. It's basically about a student in the 8th grade going through the process of getting ready to go into a freshman year. I really like the story. Elsie Fisher does a great job in this movie as the main character. Bo Burnham did a great job writing and directing. Like I said, I prefer The Edge of 17, which is another coming of age film with Haley Steinfeld that came out in 2016, but I do like this one too. I really don't have much more to say about 8th Grade except go watch it. Number 13 is Revenge. This is a rape and revenge film directed by Coralie Fargeat. I think that she's a French director. Mathilde Lutz, who I do remember seeing in the 2017 Rings movie. She's great here. I really like the story of they leave this girl for dead after they assault her, and then she decides to come back, wreak havoc on her attackers. I always like seeing that when you leave, when the part where someone has did wrong and you get back at them. It's just that the part before that can be a little bit too much to handle for a lot of people. But I really enjoy Revenge. It was a great, the locations are beautiful, the cinematography is awesome, the editing, music is awesome. Like I said, the scene where the incident does happen does take me out of the movie, but I get right back into it after. But this is a very fun film. Coming in number 12 is Mission Impossible 6 Fallout. You didn't beat Ghost Protocol, but you got close. Tom Cruise, for a guy who's in his 50s, to do all the crazy stunts that he does in each of these movies, that's mad love to Tom Cruise right there. And he did get hurt while doing this movie. But he did, the scene where he jumps off to the other building, he actually broke his leg while doing that. But I thought Chris McQuarrie once again did a great job. Rebecca Ferguson is Ilsa Faust. She still got it. Her character is still pretty much the badass she was in Rogue Nation. You got Superman in here, Henry Cavill. He's better here than he is Superman. I like him as Superman, but my problem with his version of Superman, he's not really smiling enough. But I like him as Superman there. And here, he's really great. You got awesome action playing out. You got rest of the cast members, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Angela Bassett. They all do a great job. Alec Baldwin, they all do a great job here. The one person I don't care for in this movie is Vanessa Kirby, is the White Widow. I thought she could have been completely cut out, or you could have made that Jeremy Renner's part. But for the most part, Mission Impossible Fallout is a pretty awesome action film, and I really enjoy it. And I can't wait to see Mission Impossible 6 and Mission Impossible 7, because they have confirmed it for 2021 and 2022, I think. No, Mission Impossible 7 and Mission Impossible 8. Yep. And hopefully we get to see more of Rebecca Ferguson's Ilsa Faust, because she is an awesome, strong female character who holds her own. Even though she has a whole personality thing where you're supposed to trust her or not, she did have an awesome line in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. And that was "Shoes Please," which I'm gonna play the clip from that.
Shoes? Shoes, please.
That's pretty much all I have to say about Mission Impossible Fallout. And now, I'm gonna leave you guys with this. Whew. I can't get over how much fun my number 11 was with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is coming from Sony, who also made the piece of crap, which is Venom, which is getting a freaking sequel. You audiences with Venom. Alright, I'll give Venom 2 a chance as long as it is a better film. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse not only shocked me but how fun it was, but also how colorful it was. The fact that they were able to take all these different animation styles and combine them into one movie was very fun. You have multiple Spider-Mans here. You got the OG Spider-Man, Peter Parker. You got Miles Morales, who I really liked. Shamik Moore did a great job voicing him. You got Spider-Man Noir, Nicolas Cage, Penny Parker with the robot. You got Spider-Pig. That was weird, but he was funny. And then of course you got Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Gwen, who Miles Morales, Shamik Moore, and Haley Steinfeld as both Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy. They are the two scene stealers of this movie for me, but mostly it's Gwen Stacy because she had a cool introduction. Her costume was pretty awesome. And Haley Steinfeld was funny, especially when she says you don't get to like my haircut.
She has the coolest look. Her as Spider-Gwen is, I mean, everything I've ever dreamed of being. So playing this character really was a dream come true, playing a female superhero at that. But she really is just a free-spirited, spunky, witty, natural leader that is just all around us.
Just a lot of humor, a lot of fun, and this has replaced Spider-Man 3 as my new favorite Spider-Man movie. I still love Spider-Man 3, but that's number 2. And just, if this movie doesn't get Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards this year, then that's going to be really sad, because this is a very entertaining film, animated kids film. You walked away with the Golden Globe, so... And also, this movie made money, so we're going to get a sequel, we're going to get a TV series, and then we're going to get spin-offs, including a spin-off for Gwen Stacy, which I'm kind of curious. I'm very excited to see. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is... I also forgot to mention how good the soundtrack for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is. So, I have the soundtrack, I listened to it. I really like the soundtrack. Yes, it's hip-hop music that people will listen to, but I like the soundtrack, so yeah. Coming in 10th place, I am surprised that a lot of people were not going to like this movie, but I should have seen it coming. Mortal Engines. This comes to us from Peter Jackson and the rest of the creative team for The Lord of the Rings. Directed by King Kong visual effects supervisor Kristen Rivers. This is based on the novel series of the same name by Philip Reeve, and I know this movie underperformed at the box office because this movie did cost $100 million to $150 million. But that is not really the problem, because you're going to need that kind of money for a movie like this. But the biggest problem why I think this movie didn't fail at the box office is because of the release date. But putting that aside, I'm one of the people who do like Mortal Engines. It's a fun action film, post-apocalyptic. I like the idea. I like people say it's uninspired, it's lazy, but no, it's based on the book of a series of the same name that deals with what this movie is doing. And the author, he really likes the film, but I don't understand why a lot of people hate this film. I do have my usual problems when it comes to wanting to care more about the characters, including Tom Natsworthy. The main girl, Hera Hilmar, she's gorgeous in the movie, and she's really great as Hester Shaw. I liked her character. She was badass. The opening action scene at the beginning was really cool. Hugo Weaving is so cartoonish as the villain, but he's a great actor, and he knows that this is not the best well-written script, but this movie is entertaining enough for me to put on my list for the best movies. I may get a little bit of controversy, but it's my list, it's not yours. Haters, you can hate this Aquaman all you want, but you didn't stop this movie from reaching the $1 billion mark. So you're up there with The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises Aquaman, but I loved Aquaman. James Wan's direction was really great. Jason Momoa, he does a fantastic job as Arthur Curry Aquaman. I really like his story of his upbringing and him having to be king. It does feel similar to Black Panther, which is somewhere on this list. And yes, I do agree the film is a little too long, 2 hours and 23 minutes, but I was invested with it. I do wish Nicole Kidman, who is also great, she was pretty badass in the movie. I wish she had more scenes. People say the plot is a little convoluted. It's not really that convoluted. To me, I followed the plot very easily. I know there are a few people who don't like Amber Heard in this movie as Amira, and I like her in this movie. Like I said, putting aside the whole thing between her and Johnny Depp, she's great in the movie. She's very beautiful here. I buy the chemistry with her and Jason Momoa. Patrick Wilson as the villain, he's cartoonish, but it was really great. Dolph Lundgren was great. The action scenes were pretty cool. The other villain, Black Manta, he was kind of cool, but he was pretty wasted. But the final battle of this movie is pretty awesome. I really love the underwater effects. This felt like Star Wars in underwater. So that was pretty awesome. I really enjoy Aquaman. If you hate the movie, that's fine. What happens when you take Unfriended and make it into a drama thriller? Well, at number 8, you get Searching, starring John Cho. This is the best I've seen of John Cho since Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle and the J.J. Abrams Star Trek trilogy, which I'm very upset that we're not going to get Star Trek 4, but I think it's time to let Star Trek go in peace. But John Cho, he's really great in the movie. I really love the story of him trying to find his daughter who goes missing, and the only place he can find her is through her laptop and equipment. And when the police don't do anything about it, I love a story like that. Because if it was one of your family members, or if it was your sister or your brother or your cousin or your girlfriend or someone that's closest to you, you will be trying to find them, and the only place you can find them is using their electronic device. And I really like the great sense of twists and turns here, the suspenseful moments, the dramatic moments. Deborah Messing was really good. The actress who played John Cho's daughter in the movie was great. There is one scene in this movie I didn't really like that does keep this movie from getting a seal of approval, but on rewatch I can deal with the scene more. But Searching was a very great film. If you haven't seen it, I definitely say check it out. Coming in number 7 is A Quiet Place. Now, this film was very interesting. It was really scary. I thought John Krasinski did a great job directing. He and his real life lover or wife, Emily Blunt, who's also an actress, she's really great here. I really like the kids here. I really like the idea of this family having to stay quiet and not make a sound, otherwise you have these monsters that's going to come and get them. And I know at the beginning there is a tragic moment. I love the sound design. I love how this movie plays off tension. Acting was great. The script was well written. Everything from a technical aspect is almost perfect, except the ending was pretty abrupt. But like I said, they are doing a sequel to A Quiet Place 2, but if you can get John Krasinski and Emily Blunt back, I think you may have a good sequel on your hands. But you gotta work at it. This has to be one of the most polarizing horror movies of the decade, or one of the most polarizing movies of this decade, besides Batman vs. Superman, Aquaman, or a couple of other films, including Avengers Age of Ultron. But Suspiria 2018, I liked it just as much as Dario Argento's film. Now, I know the director of the original film, he says it betrayed the spirit of the original film, but it's not really that bad. It could have been a lot worse though. Like I said in my review, I don't care for Tilda Swinton all that much. The film is a little too long, and there are some very freakish, weird moments that goes on in this movie, but for the whole time I was sitting there watching the movie, I was invested. I really liked the ballerina choreography. Dakota Johnson, she was great in this movie. I'm glad I'm one of those people who has not watched the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, and because I don't really need to watch those, because I've heard a lot of bad things about them, and I'm lucky I saved myself from those. I got very lucky. Chloe Grace Moretz was great. Mia Goth the acting all around was great for the most part, except for Tilda Swinton. I like the themes that this movie touches upon. It's a very different film from the original. And Luca Guadagnino, who directed Call Me By Your Name, which I did not watch, which came out in 2017, and who directed A Bigger Splash, which I did see on cable one time. He did a great job with the film. Like I said, it does have its problems, but do I think this movie is that bad? No. Suspiria was really entertaining. Just when I thought the Transformers movies was just gonna get even worse, we got the redemption movie after Transformers The Last Knights, and that comes in the form of Bumblebee. It's good to have a Transformers movie where Michael Bay is not the director, because I was getting sick of him directing all the Transformers movies. We have a new director here, Travis Knight. Haley Steinfeld's performance as Charlie Watson honestly should be a part of the Oscar nominations, but I digress. She's really great in the movie. I love the friendship and relationship between Charlie and Bumblebee. I really like the characters here. The action scenes are very well done. The newer Decepticons were really cool. It was great seeing Cybertron in the opening scene. Dylan O'Brien does a great job as the voice of Bumblebee at the beginning of this movie. Like I said, it does have a few sexualized jokes. And John Cena is just basically playing the typical villain who wants to kill Bumblebee, but John Cena, he's good in this movie too. I don't know why he gets a bad rap. Like I said, you knew the thing with him and Nikki Bella was not going to work out, so that really doesn't give you the right to hate John Cena. It really does not. But Bumblebee was a fun time. I'm so glad this movie made money. I'm so glad we're getting a sequel, which has just been announced yesterday. And I can't wait to see a sequel. And I love the soundtrack, especially Haley Steinfeld's song Back to Life. I can't count how many times I've listened to that song ever since I first heard it. Bumblebee, if you ain't seen Bumblebee and if you're scared to watch it, I would say give it a watch and be optimistic. That's what I like to do here. I like to recommend good stuff. I don't like to recommend bad crap like Venom. Even though the 84% audience score members like that piece of shit. Like I said when I talked about my 25th best movie, this was not going to be the only film directed by a member of Guardians of the Galaxy you was going to see on this list. Bradley Cooper wrote, produced, and directed the heck out of this remake of Star is Born. I know there's one with Judy Garland, I know there's multiple versions, but as of now, this is the best version of A Star is Born I've seen. Bradley Cooper completely transformed himself into this part of the country singer dealing with drugs and alcohol, dealing with personal struggles. Lady Gaga was great in this movie. I loved her here. I do think she should get Oscar nomination at least. This is the best I've seen of Lady Gaga. And I don't even watch American Horror Story. But I have my reasons for not watching American Horror Story. Also, the way the songs play out are really cool. I love the cinematography. I cared about these two characters because you wanted to see them. They're in love, but they also have personal things they're dealing with, and that's what makes them vulnerable. That's what makes them fully developed, and that's what I feel like they really excel at. And I think Bradley Cooper did a great job directing his first film. I want to see more directorial debut films he directs from. I want to see him direct more films and star in more. He's a great actor, but he's a very awesome director. I want to see what Karen Gillan does next as a director. A Star is Born, this is just a fantastic film. If you ain't seen it, it's really awesome. Check it out. A Simple Favor not only was one of my most surprising films of last year, but this was also my second favorite film directed by Paul Feig, and this was a redemption film for him after Ghostbusters 2016, which we don't talk about. I've talked crap enough about Ghostbusters 2016. I really love the story here. I love the twists and turns. It's basically if you take Gone the Train and Gone Girl and you make it into a dark comedy film, drama, thriller like this. I really like the interesting stuff here. The third act is slow and it takes too long to wrap everything up, but the acting was great from everyone. Henry Golding to Linda Cardellini to Blake Lively, who is a very hit and miss actress for me, but she is beautiful and she is a good actress when she's given the right material. And this is the best I've seen of Anna Kendrick. Woo! I loved Anna Kendrick ever since the first Twilight, and I loved her in the Pitch Perfect trilogy. But this is her at her absolute best. Yeah. A Simple Favor. It didn't beat Bridesmaids, but it got pretty darn close. And for being surprising, that's why it's in third place. Black Panther not only was the first black superhero movie we have seen in a long time, but Black Panther just surprised the hell out of a lot of people who were excited for it and not excited. This movie not only had a great story, I love the story of T'Challa being king. Chadwick Boseman, he is T'Challa in Black Panther. I don't see anybody else playing T'Challa as good as him. He does a really great job. Lupita Nyong'o is great. I really like Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out, Winston Duke, Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett. The sister, Letitia Wright, was really great. I really love seeing Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis in the same movie. Michael B. Jordan is great as Killmonger. I hear some people say that Michael B. Jordan, he was whiny. He complains because he lost his family in this movie. But he was a villain I actually sided with. And this is a better superhero movie for Michael B. Jordan than the Fantastic Four movie from 2015 was. And Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick Boseman, they have a pretty awesome fight. And the action was really nice. The soundtrack was on point. Ryan Coogler did a great job. Directing, the writing was good. When I first saw the movie, I did say the movie was a little slow and some of the CGI looked unfinished. But the more I watched the film, those problems go away. So if I was to upgrade my rating to this now, it would be a bronze seal of approval. But I want to see more of Black Panther. I am happy we're going to get Black Panther 2. Because I want to see more of the world of Wakanda, and if Wakanda was a real place, I would go there. But number 2 is Black Panther. Wakanda forever. This is going to be a little polarizing for a lot of people to deal with my number 1, but Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald was not only my favorite movie of 2018, but it was also one of my favorite films in the Harry Potter series. It does have problems. It does have a little too much going on. It does have a little bit too much setup for Fantastic Beasts, the last 3 Fantastic Beasts movies, and Nagini did not need to be here, but I'm glad you brought Nagini in this movie to go ahead and set her up. And the action was pretty good. There was a lot of character deaths, a lot of emotional moments. I love the flashbacks between Dumbledore and Newt Scamander. Eddie Redmayne was great as Newt Scamander. Jude Law was perfect as young Albus Dumbledore. The rest of the cast was really good. Ezra Miller was pretty good. Johnny Depp killed it as the villain in this movie. And I need to say this right now. I've had enough of you people disrespecting Johnny Depp for the crap he did to Amber Heard. He didn't even do that. For God's sakes, the man is a talented actor. He ain't gotta take this crap from y'all. Johnny Depp is a talented actor, and you people is just dissing him, hating on him, all because of you think the whole allegations between him and Amber Heard is true, which is not. You people just think it's true so you can have something to hate him even worse. And you people used to love Johnny Depp. What happened? And even J.K. Rowling had to defend him, saying he was falsely accused. So I side with him and J.K. Rowling. You can hate me all you want for that, but it's my opinion. And I'm so sick of people saying J.K. Rowling does not have it in her anymore. You're talking about a woman who grew up with nothing. And then Harry Potter had a lot of success. If it wasn't J.K. Rowling, she created my favorite movie franchise of all time. I love these films. Look at it. Look at it. And now you get mad at J.K. Rowling because she wanted to do a spinoff, and you're getting mad at the Harry Potter series because it's not Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, or Emma Watson. They'll come back at some point, but just not now. Let them do other things. But okay, with that rant out of the way, I do love everything else about this movie. I think Fantastic Beasts 2, there is more good in this movie than bad. So you people need to freaking chill out and stop dissing Johnny Depp. Enough is enough. If you want to have the right to talk bad about somebody, an actor, Kristen Stewart is the one you need to be disrespecting, because Kristen Stewart, she is not a good actress anymore. And now she's about to be in a crappy Charlie's Angels movie that comes out this year that I'm not even looking forward to. So there's your hate for somebody. Before we go ahead and wrap this up, let's count down the best movies of the year at least one more time in the voiceover format. At number 45 is Netflix Kodachrome. Number 44, Hereditary. Number 43, Set It Up. Number 42, Maze Runner: The Death Cure. Number 41 is The Bobby Brown Story. Number 40, On the Basis of Sex. Number 39, To All the Boys I Loved Before. Number 38, Mary Poppins Returns. Number 37 is Overlord. 36 is DC Lego Superheroes The Flash. Number 35, I Think We're Alone Now. Number 34 is The Park Is Gone. Number 33 is The Girl in the Spider's Web, A New Dragon Tattoo Story. Number 32 is Ocean's 8. Number 31 is Shane Black's The Predator. Number 30 is Upgrade. Number 29 is Unsane. Number 28 is Death Wish 2018. Number 27 is Halloween 2018, or Halloween H40, The Night He Returned Home. Number 26 is The Party's Just Beginning. Number 25 is Avengers Infinity War Part 1. Number 24 is Creed 2. Number 23 is Dumpling. Number 22 is Ralph Breaks the Internet. Number 21 is Life Itself. Number 20, Disney's Nutcracker in the Four Realms. Number 19 is The Hate You Give. Number 18 is Netflix's Dude. Number 17, Love, Simon. Number 16, Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One. Number 15 is Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 14 is 8th Grade. Number 13 is Revenge. Number 12, Mission Impossible 6, Fallout. Number 11, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Number 10, Mortal Engines. Number 9, Aquaman. Number 8 is Searching. Number 7 is A Quiet Place. Number 6 is Espericueta 2018. Number 5 is Transformers Bumblebee. Number 4 is A Star is Born 2018. Number 3, A Simple Favor. Number 2 is Marvel's Black Panther. And at number 1 is Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald. So that was my full-on best movies of 2018. Like I said, there were a lot of good, but there's also a lot of bad if you see my worst stuff. But 45 movies I consider to be the best. Some of them are controversial picks, some of them people may actually be able to tolerate. But I want to hear from you guys. Let's get an awesome, friendly discussion here. No hate comments, by the way, because there is a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. Let me know what your list would be. What you think of my list. Be fair. Be sure to follow all my social media links. Be sure to use the channel hashtags FutureFilmmaker3940. The 1 to 1K subscribers join the Awesomeness. I'll see you guys in the next video. I will end up doing a ranking of all the 2018 movies I saw as part of my life in movies. And you guys keep it cool as always. I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoying the Awesomeness.